Ladies and gentlemen, Mollusk here, and bringing you another quick Guild Ball match report. My second game against Francois' Morticians, we both re-racked and ran the same teams. I took a picture of my guild playbook hand, whatever it's called. Looks like I've got Won't Touch the Hair back in the game, fullback, lone striker, and get back in there, something like that. I forgot to take picture of the setup, but for terrain we've got two obstacles, rough ground and a barrier. There might be some fast ground out on the far left flank. The Morticians choose to receive again, and I try to think who I kicked with. I think I might have kicked with Skatha. Teams, for those of you who didn't watch the previous video, are Fahad, Sina, Chaska, Zarola, Skatha, Jakar, and Dirge, Skulk, Casket, Graves, Obulus, Brainpan, Memory. So yeah, so Skatha kicked the ball out. It was probably okay. Ball got collected and eventually passed to Obulus. I wasted some early activations by putting armor on Skatha with Chaska because that worked out so well in the previous game, and just wasting some movements charging up as the Morticians begin their slow plod up the pitch. Brainpan and Memory coming out more aggressive. I use the roller to midnight offering Jakar up the pitch, getting that double threat up. Skatha goes, puts down her fast ground, runs around into Graves. I think I hit the cold snap on the charge, and so cold snap both him and Skulk. Do a little bit of damage and try to dodge out, but Skulk keeps following me. Looks like Jakar gets heavy burden, but still has enough distance to get into Graves. I think I was wondering if I could get the ball off Obulus and set up for a goal, but in the end I just decided to beat Graves savagely. I'm up on momentum by a lot, so I play Won't Touch the Hair, and the Morticians play Go for the Knees. Can't remember who they put it on. Possibly Casket, sorry. I go first, Jakar kills Graves, puts some damage on Obulus and then dodges out. Don't think I could quite get the ball, or maybe he got it back, I can't remember. The ball gets passed out to Brainpan out here on the far flank. And so this time, before Casket can get up to his horrific tricks, the bear goes and rampages into the Mortician lines, taking out Skulk. 4-0 to the Hunters. Or 5-0 even, as I think I go in with a bear hug. He was snared, I had an assist from Skatha, and I think I managed to knock down and damage him on the charge. Yeah, it was very happy with that. I think I spent the rest of the term farming momentum off Casket, repositioning Skatha over on this flank, and basically waiting for the ball to come in and setting up to get a snapback goal. In the next turn, I play fullback, and Morticians look like they play midfield general. Unfortunately, I didn't get a picture of this turn, but in essence there's a bit of an upset as Chaska manages to steal the ball off Brainpan and Memory, kicking it out to the left where Skatha is, and causing a bit of a scuffle as I miss, and the ball scatters, eventually going to Dirge, who was circling around Sina trying to stop her from charging. And I think we eventually take out Dirge with Fahad and get the ball, making it 6-0 to the Hunters. In the meantime, you may have noticed Jakar was in this position. Well, Graves and Skulk came back on. I tried to kill one of them in their weakened condition, but Jakar ended up being pushed out and wasting some influence, and then they ended up pushing him all the way towards the edge, as I very stupidly forgot to do back to the shadows. So we go to turn 4. I play back in the game because Jakar's probably going to go off. I don't really have a lot of options for cards. And if you can tell what card Francois played, your eyes are better than mine. Skatha takes her goal, and the ball is kicked out to Obulus, making it 10-0 to the Hunters. The Morticians, I think Skulk pushes, or Graves pushes Jakar off the pitch, 10-2. And I believe it's around this point that I clock out. But I'm feeling quietly confident here. So Skulk and Graves have run away from Sina, trying to get out of her range, as I've just got to make one kill. Obulus is actually quite damaged. I didn't realise. And I think a Sina charge could possibly have finished him. But before I can do anything, he gets away behind Casket, and because of Casket's rough ground aura, I can't get to him. And I think the Morticians eventually get the ball to Brainpan, whilst Memory keeps attacking Zarola. That 2-inch dodge getting around her unpredictable movement, very sadly, and it's earning the Morticians quite some momentum. So yeah, basically, Cena charges Casket, gets him pretty good. We go into the next turn, and we both, I think, someone plays a card where we both single out each other. Now I single out Casket, and he singles out Cena. I did that before. I singled out Casket before realizing that he's got Reanimate and Tough Idol, and basically is much harder to kill than I thought. And I realized pretty quickly that my target to win the game is going to be killing Brain Pan, as even though he's unhurt, he's not difficult to take down, and I've got J-Car coming back on this wing. I sort of don't mind that I didn't put singled out on him because it doesn't alert my opponent to what I've switched my plans to intending. So I get the initiative, go with J-Car, get the ball off Brain Pan, I think I kick it back out into space and then back to the shadows away to keep him safe, healing him up. Or maybe I don't kick the ball. I think then Brain Pan comes and follows him, trying to get it back. The bear's crowded out and knocked down and can't do anything to Casket, and Casket runs away behind the Portaloo, whilst the rest of my team runs towards Brain Pan. Just going into the next turn, I think the score is 10-7 to the Hunters. The ball is out over here, by the way. I think it got kicked clear at some point. I think the Morticians got the initiative, and Brain Pan couldn't escape the trap. J-Car unloads on him, and despite him being snared, I can't kill him. I think he's left on like 1 or 2 health. It's so frustrating this keeps happening with J-Car. Obulus goes, gets some momentum, heals Brain Pan up a bit, tries to crowd out people as best he can, steals a influence off of Chaska, but with Brain Pan snared and massively crowded out, Skatha has no problem hitting her momentous 2 damage playbook result on column 3. I think I actually forgot about the snared. I was rolling dice so quickly, trying to get through her activation before the minute cap was reached. But we got him anyway, sealing the game. Finally, victory! I think I've been on, I think it's been 10 games since I last won. Finally! But oh my goodness, it wasn't easy. And I think that had no right being that hard. Going 10-2 up and still just squeaking the game 12-8. I've got to get better control of my clock. Because yeah, damn, those last couple of turns just felt like wading through molasses. Having the bear be relevant was a big part of this, I think. She's got to go early before the enemy team can start to put the control elements on her. Which means that I think Skatha or someone else has got to be snaring things last activation of the turn before. Because she's so good when she gets rolling. I thought these couple of games against Obulus were really interesting. I have Morticians pegged as the weakest team in the game. They're pretty pillow-fisted, and I think their football game is stronger, but it's not amazingly strong. But I think these last couple of games were a good example of how they just control their enemies to death. Francois told me he pretty much needs a casket time to win, and I can certainly see that. But against less good players such as myself, punching their opponents in the clock, I think, is where it's at. Anyway, really fun game. Thanks very much to my opponent, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.